You can't live chasing a fantasy forever. That's what she said. Calm, soft. Like she was saying goodbye to an old flame, not her husband. I lived in a tiny third-floor apartment in Venice Beach, Los Angeles. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. I used to work as a software engineer for a healthcare startup. Jessica, my wife, was the HR manager at a major tech firm. We thought we were the perfect team. That illusion shattered when my company laid off half the staff. I'm Aiden Clark, 33 years old, a software guy with a stubborn dream of building something of my own. Jessica, 31, sharp, ambitious, organized, loved certainty. I thrived in code and chaos. She thrived in spreadsheets and KPIs. Maybe we were never meant to last, but it wasn't until I lost my job that the distance between us became unbridgeable. Jessica couldn't stand the uncertainty of me not having a steady income, even though I freelanced and poured my heart into developing an AI chatbot. All she saw was someone failing. The respect faded. The spark vanished. What remained was resentment and cold judgment. Each night I coded late into the evening. She went to bed early, always with her back turned to me. Dinner was silent. Our lives overlapped under one roof, but we were on separate timelines. I kept believing. Once the product launches, everything will get better. But I was wrong. One night, while I was debugging code, Jessica came out of the bedroom. She was wearing her beige silk nightgown, once comforting, now distant. She said, "I've signed the divorce papers. You just need to add your name." I froze. "Because I don't make money?" She answered flatly, "No, because you don't have direction. I can't live with someone chasing fantasies." I didn't argue. I just nodded. I realized, when a woman no longer sees value in you, your ambition becomes a burden in her eyes. The next morning, I packed. One suitcase, one backpack, one laptop. I called my college buddy Dylan. "Can I crash at your place?" He replied, "Sure, I've got an empty garage." I walked out at 7 a.m. Jessica didn't say goodbye, didn't wish me luck. I kept my head low, but something inside me had just woken up. I'd lost my wife, but not my dream. And that garage, cold, cramped, forgotten, would be where I begin again, for real this time. I used to have a big bedroom with a king-size bed, warm lighting, and my wife's constant nagging at night. Now I sleep beside cardboard boxes and motor oil, on a thin mattress in a garage. Dylan's garage was in Culver City, a quiet neighborhood 15 minutes from Venice Beach. Cramped, dusty, dimly lit by a flickering ceiling bulb. No air conditioning, no windows, but at least it was quiet. And it didn't look at me like I was a failure. Dylan Perez, my college best friend, a freelance web designer, the only person who still believed in me. Me, Aiden Clark, recently divorced, jobless, and barely holding on to self-respect. All I had left, one old laptop and a belief I was trying desperately not to lose. Dylan said, "Man, just get a new job. Good pay, benefits, rebuild your life." I knew he was right, but I couldn't. Not because I was stubborn, but because I knew that if I gave up now, I'd never dream again. Time, money, and belief, they were all running out. During the day, I took small freelance jobs, writing APIs, fixing bugs, setting up email automations for local businesses. At night, I coded like hell. I built Claire AI, a voice-based AI customer service platform. I taught myself to do everything, front-end, back-end, model training. Every night was a war between exhaustion, doubt, and mosquitoes. After 3 straight nights without sleep, I finished my MVP. I hesitated, then hit publish on Product Hunt. I didn't expect anything. Honestly, if no one upvoted it, I planned to delete everything and apply for a job like Dylan suggested. The next morning, I opened my laptop. Claire AI was trending #1 on Product Hunt, over 600 upvotes, hundreds of comments, and more than 20 emails from investors. I sat frozen, not in joy, but in shock. I didn't know what to do next. One email stood out. "Hey Aiden, I'm Leo Grant. I invest in people like you. Call me. Let's talk." I Googled him. An angel investor from Silicon Valley. Backed 3 companies that eventually IPO'd. We scheduled a Zoom call. My hands trembled. My voice cracked. My eyes were sunken. but for the first time in months, I felt seen. After 18 minutes, he said, "If you're ready to go all in on this, I'll invest 500,000. Pre-seed. Your call." I paused and said, "I'm in." That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was stressed, but because I felt alive again. At 3 a.m., I stepped outside the garage and looked up at the stars. For the first time since the divorce, I whispered, "Jessica, you were right. I didn't have direction, but now I do." I became a CEO while still sleeping on a foldable mattress. No suit, no fancy office, no champagne toast. Just cold coffee, unread emails, and a dozen bugs waiting to be fixed. After the call with Leo Grant, I received a $500 billion pre-seed investment. I didn't buy a car, didn't move to a new apartment. I rented a seat at a co-working space in Santa Monica. Cramped, noisy, but had fast Wi-Fi. I still slept in Dylan's garage. But in the daylight, I was a founder, a title I once only whispered to myself. Me, Aiden Clark, no longer unemployed, founder of Claire AI. Now responsible for not just code, but leading. I needed a co-founder, so I tweeted, "Building an AI startup. Need a crazy, relentless dev. Low pay, high risk, possibly life-changing." 3 hours later, I got a DM from Sasha Nguyen, Vietnamese-American, former back-end lead at a fintech startup. She quit because she was tired of scaling systems never designed to scale. She sent one line of code. "AI has no soul, but devs do. Let's build this." I knew I found my co-founder. We had funding, we had vision. What we didn't have: customers. Leo gave us 90 days to land a real contract, or the next tranche of funding would freeze. Sasha and I did everything: cold calls, product demos, bug fixes, pitch decks, running $500 Google ads. Every day was chaos. Pitching at 9 a.m., internal, team meeting, just us, at 1 p.m., investor updates at 4 p.m. At night, back to the garage, laughing into my pillow like a lunatic. Then, an email. A small restaurant chain in Long Beach. "Hey, can we test your bot for our delivery hotline?" We stayed up all night customizing their AI flow. Next morning, they signed. $10,000 pilot. A week later, a West Coast real estate group, Redwood Realty, reached out. "We're looking for an AI to replace our outdated call center. Can you scale to 100 branches?" Sasha stared at me. I said, "Give me 72 hours. We didn't sleep for 3 days. Claire AI scaled like never before. The final demo? Me in a wrinkled white shirt, voice cracking, eyes lit up. They signed. Contract value? $1 million. When the wire hit our account, I just looked at Sasha and burst out laughing. She hugged me, whispered, "Don't ever doubt yourself again." I didn't cry, but my hands trembled all afternoon. After that deal, Claire AI was revalued at $12 million. I got invited to speak at Tech West in San Francisco. That night, I got a LinkedIn message from her. "Jessica, 7 words. I heard about you. Congratulations." I stared at the message, smiled. I didn't have wedding cake anymore, but I was living the dream, the one I once dreamed alone. Some people leave without regret. Then one day they return, with a short message that's too polite to love, too shallow to hate. And all you can do is smile and move on. That afternoon, I had just left the Tech West conference in San Francisco. I had spoken for 40 minutes on stage, sharing my founder's journey. Back at the hotel, I opened LinkedIn. There it was, a message from Jessica. "I heard about you. Congratulations." No question mark, no exclamation point, just congratulations. Me, Aiden Clark, no longer the man abandoned for being unstable. I'm the founder of Claire AI, a startup worth tens of millions. And Jessica, the woman who left me at my weakest, was back. Not to apologize, just to say something vague. She wanted to meet. I knew it from the way she wrote. I didn't hate her anymore. But did I even want to see her again? Should I say something? Or was silence enough? I replied, "I'll be in LA this Friday, 4 p.m. The old cafe, the one where you said you liked sugar-free flat white." She wrote back, "Okay, Friday." I arrived early. Same cafe in Beverly Hills. Same corner seat by the window. But this time I wore a fitted black shirt. This time I didn't sit with my head down. Jessica walked in. Still beautiful, elegant, but her eyes weren't as proud anymore. We sat. Silence lingered. She broke it. "I didn't think it would turn out this way." I smiled slightly. "What way?" "That you'd actually succeed." I shrugged. "You really didn't think I could?" She looked down, then asked, "If I had stayed, would we be sitting here as something else?" I looked straight at her. "If you stayed, you'd be part of this. But you didn't." She nodded, her eyes glassy. "I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, for not being patient." I rested my hand on the coffee cup. "I don't blame you, honestly. But you know, when no one believes in you, you better be the one who still does." She gave a sad smile. "I used to think, if you got rich, you wouldn't need me." I looked out the window. "It's not because I have money. It's because now I know who deserves to stay." I stood up first, left money for the drinks. "You'll be okay. I believe that." She didn't stop me, didn't say, "Let's keep in touch." We said goodbye like two strangers who once shared a past. And I walked away, not bitter, not proud, just peaceful. It wasn't revenge. It was growth. I used to think money solved everything. Then I became a CEO and realized problems don't go away, they just put on suits. After closing the deal with Redwood Realty, Claire AI exploded. We moved into our own office on the 9th floor in Santa Monica. 10 new hires, my own desk, our logo on the glass door, even a fancy coffee machine. But no time to breathe. Me, Aiden Clark, rookie CEO, learning on the fly. Sasha Nguyen, CTO, still my rock, but now visibly stretched thin. Leo Grant, investor, now asking for Q2 roadmap, not just clapping from the sidelines. And our first hire just handed in their resignation. A month in, Claire AI started crashing. Wrong responses, broken sessions, 40% failure rate. Redwood threatened to terminate the contract unless we fixed it in 10 days. Meanwhile, a rival startup, EchoBot, launched a flashy PR campaign aimed at our exact market. I was juggling product bugs, team stress, investor pressure, competition. I called an emergency meeting, shut down all non-core features. Sasha and I went full wartime mode, 14-hour workdays. I emailed Leo, "Don't send more money. Give me 2 weeks. If we fail, I'll step back." He replied, "I invest in grit, not brands. Go." I didn't go home for 10 days, slept on the office couch, smelled more of cold pizza than success. Day 9, 2 a.m. The entire AI server went down. Sasha slammed her keyboard. I sat with my head in my hands, trembling like on the day Jessica left. We looked at each other and laughed. Not out of joy, but because we weren't broken yet. By 6 a.m., the system was back online. Redwood tested, approved. I sent a company-wide email. "We're not the strongest AI company, but we're the one that doesn't run when things fall apart." 3 team members who planned to quit stayed. I still had much to learn. But I knew this: a CEO isn't the commander. A CEO is the last one standing. That night, I stepped onto the 9th floor balcony. No applause, no headlines. Just a 33-year-old guy in a wrinkled t-shirt, watching LA lights flicker on, and smiling because I survived today. I used to think success meant having millions in the bank. But no, success is being able to speak about your scars, without shame. I was invited to speak at Founders Under 35 in San Jose, spotlights above, hundreds of young dreamers in the crowd. The first slide behind me read, "From Garage to $80 million, the journey of Aiden Clark." I took a deep breath and began. Me, Aiden Clark, who a year ago had nothing, no wife, no job, just a laptop in a garage. In the crowd, I saw familiar faces, wide eyes, quiet fear, hunger to be seen. And Jessica. I wasn't surprised. I just nodded silently. I was asked to share my biggest turning point. 2 options. Talk about growth strategy, AI models, funding rounds. Or talk about the night I got left behind with nothing but belief. I chose the second. It wasn't shiny, but it was the truth. I spoke about the garage, about Dylan, about the sleepless nights, about her, the one who said I had no direction, about how my hand trembled hitting publish on Product Hunt, about how the server crashed at 2 a.m. I spoke slowly, no filters, no gloss. The auditorium held its breath. I said, "We all get doubted, but the deepest pain isn't from outsiders. It's when the person you love stops believing in you." Pause. I thought I failed because I was abandoned, but in truth, I succeeded because of it. Because after that day, I stopped needing permission to believe in myself. The applause came like a wave. Not for my code, for my pain, for their own, reflected back. After the talk, dozens lined up. One student teary-eyed. "You just told my story." A young woman hugged me and whispered, "Thank you for not hiding the ugly parts." I saw Jessica at the back. She didn't walk up. She just looked and left. That night I returned to my hotel and wrote an internal email to my team. I don't want Claire AI to be remembered for its valuation. I want us to be known for courage, kindness, and truth. We don't need polish. We just need to never hide. I closed my laptop, looked out the window. Success wasn't something I chased anymore. It was something I became. They asked me, what makes Claire AI different? I didn't mention algorithms or growth. I said just one word: fire. After my San Jose talk, my name started appearing on startup magazines. Claire AI surpassed 300 business clients across 12 states. We were entering Series A, where numbers could make us a legend or bury us. Me, Aiden Clark, once sleeping on concrete, now sitting across billion-dollar firms. Sasha Nguyen, my CTO, my gut check. The one who asked, are we growing or just losing ourselves? Apex Capital, massive West Coast fund. They offered $30 million for 60% of Claire AI. The offer was insane. We could scale globally, hire top-tier talent, crush competitors. But the cost was control. I'd become an employed founder. Claire AI would no longer be mine. Sasha warned me, this will take us far, but maybe not where we should go. I stayed quiet for nights, thought about where I came from. The garage, the loneliness, the hunger. I didn't start this for money. I started it for something deeper. So I rewrote Claire AI's mission. Not in corporate language, but as a manifesto of why I didn't quit. I walked into the Apex meeting. First slide, a photo of me in that garage, dim light, tired eyes. I said, I didn't build Claire AI to sell it like a house. I built it to be a house, for people like me, who had nothing but never gave up. I turned them down. Silence. Apex pulled out. People called me crazy. 2 weeks later, another fund reached out. Hollow Tree Ventures, led by a former founder. They said, we don't buy souls, we amplify them. We closed at $15 million for 20% equity. Claire AI's official valuation, $80 million. That night, I went home, opened a beer, sat on the balcony. No applause, no headlines, just me, Aiden Clark, listening to my heartbeat and knowing real power isn't in the numbers. It's in being able to say no without fear. Someone once asked me, if you could go back, would you marry her again? I smiled. No, but I'd thank her for divorcing me. Claire AI now has offices in San Francisco, Austin, and Boston. We're no longer a small name, but I'm not chasing billionaire status either. I chose a different life, calm but unyielding. I sat again with myself, not the man once abandoned, but the man who rebuilt from the ashes. Me, Aiden Clark. Successful founder now focused on meaning, not metrics. Claire, a sophomore computer science student I met during a mentoring session. She asked, how do you start when no one believes you can? I saw my old self in her. Claire reminded me, today's dreamers have ideas, drive, but not always belief. I was once laughed at for being unstable. So was she. It hit me, deep. And I knew what I had to do. I started a small fund, Second Flame Fund, not named after me, but after the second chances we all deserve. Each month we back 3 projects from students, single moms, or anyone rejected for not being perfect on paper. Claire was our first. I didn't just invest money. I gave time, late-night calls, pep talks, and belief. One day, Claire ran down the hallway, crying and laughing. They accepted me. I got into the accelerator. I smiled. And I thought, if my wife hadn't left, if I wasn't called a burden, would Claire be here today? I sent my ex-wife an email. No bitterness, no blame, just this. Thank you for letting me go. I don't blame you. Without that moment, there would be no Aiden today. I hope you're happy too. She never replied. I didn't need her to. Because I no longer needed outside validation to know my worth. That night, I stared at the San Francisco sky, not to wish anymore, but to remember. Even if no one lights your path, you can burn bright on your own. I, Aiden Clark, am living proof. Unstable income is not a sentence. It's an invitation to rewrite your destiny.